teriyaki sauce is basically soy sauce that's been sweetened. Now, we've got some sugar cubes here. So we're going to dissolve the sugar. You don't have to use sugar cubes, but that's the nearest thing I could find to hand. I'm going to pop in about 3 or 4 of those, which is, you know, roughly a tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons of soy sauce. And we're just going to get that dissolving. Then the other thing we pop in, so the thing on soy sauce as well is that Japanese is all about rice and soybeans. Soybeans are, when you go into Japanese restaurants, you've had those little beans you pop out at the beginning. They turn those into soy, they ferment them with wheat to turn it into soy sauce. They turn it into soy milk, and they turn the soy milk into tofu. So it's an incredibly versatile product that the Japanese love. So into that soy sauce and sugar mix, we're going to throw some mirin. Mirin is a sweetened wine, so that where the French would use white wine, the Japanese would use sake. Where's my sake in here? So sake is, another misconception about Japanese is that sake is quite strong. It's actually about 14 degrees, 14.5 this one, so no stronger than wine. I suspect the reason that people have that misconception is because it comes in small glasses, so it looks like a shot. And the other reason is that Japanese people can't hold their drink very well. And so when you see those documentaries of Japanese men coming out of their offices and then going and spending like 2 or 3 hours drinking with each other and then stumbling home and falling asleep on the train, it's because they've all been drinking sake, but they've probably only drunk, you know, 2 or 3 glasses of wine, but that's enough to make them rosy cheeked. And I'm half Japanese myself, and I'm half Scottish, and hopefully I've inherited my mum's Scottish drinking genes. So we're just going to boil that down to evaporate off some of the alcohol from the sake. The sugar's now already dissolved, and now what I want is to bring it down to quite a sticky glaze. A teriyaki sauce is a hugely versatile. I call it a building block. When I do Japanese cookery lessons, and I've done one with Jenny at Culinary Delights down the road in Sutton. I like to tell people about the building blocks of Japanese cooking, and obviously soy sauce is one of the strongest flavours in Japanese cooking, and they use a lot to get. You'll hardly ever see a pot of salt on a Japanese cooking bench. It's all about soy sauce because there's lots of salt in there. So if you've ever done Thai cooking and you've used fish sauce to make things saltier, make things savoury, this is the equivalent in Japanese cooking. But the Japanese always also like sweet things, and that's why they drop a lot of mirin into things. This is sweetened rice wine, and you'll find that those go into stir fries a lot. And then the other building block is miso, and again the miso comes from soybeans. Soybeans that have been fermented, turned into this paste, and that's the stuff that you put into miso soup, and you blend it in with a stock, and it's incredibly easy. You can make dashi stock in about 10 minutes. Where anyone ever made a French stock, chicken stock? How long did it take you? So like 3 hours, 4 hours. You know, sometimes you might roast the bones first. So that our glaze is almost done. Now the other thing, the teriyaki sauce is now reduced. Now teriyaki sauce, is this on? No, it's okay, I just wanted to check this on. Teriyaki sauce, you know, you can buy it in a bottle, but equally that's how long it takes. So, and then you can put it into a jam jar and keep it in the fridge for several weeks.